The number one pick gets all the attention, all the pressure, and all the expectations. But the number two pick is where you secretly find some of the best players in NFL history, and of course, some of the biggest busts. Today we're tracking down every single number two draft pick since 2000 to see who lived up to the hype, who fell short, and where they ended up. Lavar Arrington didn't slowly grow into an NFL star. He arrived as one immediately. While in college at Penn State, he became known for the Lavar Leap, where he would literally launch himself over the offensive line to reach the ball carrier. After winning the Bednarik Award and becoming an All-American during his final year, Arrington stepped into Washington's defense and made an instant impact across the league. By just his second season, he had already earned a Pro Bowl selection and second-team All-Pro honors, establishing himself as one of the most explosive linebackers in all of football. Across his first 4 seasons, Arrington racked up 3 Pro Bowls and 2 All-Pro second-team selections. Unfortunately, injuries soon derailed everything. He played just 4 games in 2004, and by 2006, his career was essentially over after 6 games with the Giants. Arrington retired with 417 tackles and 23.5 sacks over 7 seasons, and today he remains close to the game as a co-host of Fox Sports Radio's 2 Pros and a Cup of Joe alongside Brady Quinn and Jonas Knox. Leonard Davis entered the league as a massive offensive lineman, standing in at 6'6" and weighing in at 355 pounds. During his 6 seasons with the Cardinals, he was solid, but never truly lived up to his draft status. That all changed in 2007 when he signed with Dallas. Once the Cowboys moved him to right guard, Davis finally reached his full potential and it was game over. He earned 3 straight Pro Bowl selections and a second-team All-Pro nod, becoming one of the best offensive linemen in football. Davis wrapped up his career in San Francisco in 2012 with his final NFL appearance coming in Super Bowl 47 at the age of 34. Not a bad way to go out after 11 seasons. If drafts could be redone, Julius Peppers would go first overall a good amount of the time. He burst onto the scene as a rookie, recording 12 sacks in just 12 games and winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. This guy was a pure freak athlete.
He's just put together that I've never seen a person, and I'm saying this as a masculine male. You don't rarely see a person who has just the amount of arms as they have legs.
Yeah.
Of all the players who played in the NFL, there's not many that deserve a ring like Julius Peppers, because he is one of the all-time greats.
By his second season, he was already helping lead the Panthers to Super Bowl 38. Over the next decade and a half, he established himself as one of the most dominant pass rushers the NFL has ever seen. He spent 8 seasons with Carolina before signing with Chicago in 2010. Then he had a 3-year stint with Green Bay before returning to Carolina in 2017 for his final 2 years. What made Peppers even more remarkable was his longevity. At age 37, he recorded 11 sacks, and even at 38 years old, he still finished with 5. He ended his career with 9 Pro Bowl appearances, 3 first-team All-Pro selections, and an astonishing 11 interceptions as a defensive lineman. In 2024, he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame first ballot. Charles Rogers entered the NFL as one of the most hyped wide receiver prospects of his era. At Michigan State, he set the school record with 27 career touchdown receptions in just 2 years and looked destined to become a superstar. His rookie year started strong. Rogers had 260 scrimmage yards and 3 touchdowns in his first 5 games, but a broken collarbone quickly ruined everything. He missed nearly all of the 2004 season, breaking his collarbone yet again, and those injuries led him down a difficult path. Painkillers developed into a serious substance abuse problem, and in 2005, Rogers appeared in just 3 games before being suspended for violating the league's drug policy. He played on and off for the rest of the year, and then the Lions released him in 2006 after only 15 career games. Rogers sadly passed away in 2019 at the age of 38 from liver failure, making his story one of the most tragic in draft history. Robert Gallery entered the league as the best interior lineman in college football after winning the Outland Trophy in 2003. Unfortunately, he landed in Oakland during one of the franchise's most dysfunctional periods, and if you know the Raiders, that's saying a lot. They went through 4 different head coaches during Gallery's 7 years there. Just like many others though, the injuries started to pile up and he couldn't perform at the level that he wanted to anymore. So in 2012, he hung up the cleats, and today he's the co-founder and CEO of Athletes for Care, a nonprofit supporting athlete mental health. I'm sure a lot of you remember Ronnie Brown, one of the most exciting running backs in the league during his peak. As a rookie, he recorded 1,139 yards from scrimmage while sharing carries with Ricky Williams. Then in 2007, while leading the league in yards from scrimmage, a knee injury abruptly ended his season. Brown bounced back in 2008 with his best year, finishing with 1,170 scrimmage yards, 10 touchdowns, and his lone Pro Bowl selection. The guy was dominant in that wildcard offense, especially in that game against the Patriots.
And then that New England game, they like, hey man, we ain't got nothing to lose. Like, they the pinnacle. Yeah, like people expect us to lose anyway. I think we had lost the first few games of the year, so they was like, hey man, we're gonna crack this thing out. And so when they called it the first time, I'm looking like, oh boy, just don't mess it up.
Brown played 10 seasons total, finishing with 7,357 scrimmage yards and 40 touchdowns from his time in Miami, Philadelphia, San Diego, and Houston. When it comes to hype, very few players in NFL history compare to Reggie Bush coming out of college. At USC, he won the Heisman Trophy after posting 2,890 all-purpose yards and 19 touchdowns in one of the most electric college football seasons ever. The guy was just awesome to watch. He joined the Saints during their post-Hurricane Katrina rebuild and immediately made an impact. He became one of the most versatile offensive weapons in football, contributing not only as a rusher but also a receiver and a return specialist. In 2008, he tied Johnny Lee Higgins with a league-leading 3 punt return touchdowns, and of course, he was on the team that won Super Bowl 44. After 5 seasons with the Saints, Bush bounced around to Miami, Detroit, San Francisco, and Buffalo. He had 3 seasons with over 1,000 scrimmage yards after leaving New Orleans, including 1,512 in 2013 with Detroit. But considering all the excitement around him coming out of college, he never really lived up to the hype in the NFL. These days, he might be more famous for having his Heisman Trophy revoked in 2010, but the Heisman Trust did reinstate it in 2024. When it comes to nicknames in the NFL, there's probably never been one that fits more than Megatron. He won the Biletnikoff Award at Georgia Tech as college football's best receiver. Then he made an immediate impact with the Lions, scoring his first NFL touchdown against the Raiders in week number 1, and over 9 seasons, he became one of the most dominant receivers in NFL history. He led the league in receiving yards in 2011, set the single-season record with 1,964 yards in 2012, and recorded 4 seasons with over 1,300 yards. He also earned 6 Pro Bowl selections and 3 first-team All-Pro honors, finishing his career with 11,786 scrimmage yards and 84 touchdowns. Then in March of 2015, Johnson shocked everybody by retiring at the age of 30 while still in his prime.
When it's time to take out next day, walked to the office, sat down, like, Coach, I'm done, I'm retired. I can't do it anymore. I broke down crying.
Johnson was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2021 during his first year of eligibility. And quickly before we continue, if you guys are enjoying this current video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 50,000 out here. Chris Long was a consensus All-American at Virginia before joining the Rams. As a rookie, he recorded 4 sacks while tying for the team lead in quarterback hits. Long never became a headline-grabbing superstar, but he was consistently productive throughout his 8 seasons with the team. In 2011, he had a career-high 13 sacks. After leaving the Rams in 2016, Long signed with the Patriots and won Super Bowl 51 in his first year there. Then he joined the Eagles in 2017 and won Super Bowl 52 in his first year there, becoming one of the few players to accomplish that feat with different teams. He finished his career with 70 sacks, 332 tackles, and 15 forced fumbles across 162 games, and these days, he hosts the Green Light podcast, which is always good for a bit of NFL content. Alright, there's going to be a bit of a trend here with the Rams you're going to notice with a bunch of these picks, because there was a period here where they were just trash for so long. And part of the reason is guys like Jason Smith. He entered the league with all the credentials that teams would look for in a franchise tackle. At Baylor, he earned first team All Big 12 honors and was widely viewed as a safe, high upside pick. That projection never materialized in the NFL though. Smith struggled with injuries and inconsistency, appearing in just 45 games across 3 seasons with the Rams and 1 additional season with the Jets. In 2013, he briefly landed on the Saints practice squad but never returned to an active roster. His NFL career only lasted 4 seasons, making it one of the shortest careers ever by a number 2 overall pick. Today, Smith is staying connected to the game though by coaching at Abilene Christian. On the flip side though, Ndamukong Suh was about as good as you could get at number 2. From the moment he entered the league, he was one of the most physically dominant defensive tackles football has ever seen.
Ndamukong Suh is the kind of player that you can build a championship defense around.
He could just take a 330-pound lineman and just move him like he's, a DB.
Over a 13-year career, Suh earned 5 Pro Bowl selections and 3 first-team All-Pro honors, along with a Super Bowl ring with the 2020 Buccaneers. His best season came in 2014 when he posted 53 tackles, 8.5 sacks, and 21 tackles for a loss, while completely disrupting opposing offenses. Suh finished his career with 600 tackles, 71.5 sacks, and a wild 214 quarterback hits, including 4 straight seasons with 20 or more. Since retiring, he has transitioned into content creation with his show No Free Lunch with Ndamukong Suh, which launched on July 1st, 2025. Moving on, we've got another absolute stud, Von Miller. He entered the league as one of the most decorated linebackers in college football history, having won the Butkus Award at Texas A&M. And he immediately justified the Broncos picking him so early, recording 11.5 sacks as a rookie and winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. Miller quickly became one of the NFL's elite pass rushers, and he was a complete game wrecker. The best example of that is during the 2015 season when he earned Super Bowl 50 MVP honors, recording 2.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 6 total tackles in Denver's 24-10 win over the Panthers. In 2021, the Broncos traded him to the Rams, where Miller won Super Bowl 56 in his first and only season with LA, recording 2 sacks in that game. After leaving the Rams in 2022, he played 3 years with Buffalo before signing a 1-year contract with the Commanders in July of 2025. And 16 games into this year, he has 8 sacks at the age of 36. It's been a hell of a career for this future first ballot Hall of Famer. Robert Griffin III arrived in the NFL with enormous expectations after winning the Heisman Trophy at Baylor. While most eyes were on Andrew Luck, RG3 delivered one of the most electric rookie seasons in league history with the Redskins. He threw for 3,200 yards with 20 touchdowns and just 5 interceptions, while also rushing for 815 yards and 7 touchdowns in only 15 games. Griffin won Offensive Rookie of the Year and earned a spot in the Pro Bowl after leading Washington to their first playoff appearance since 2007. But everything changed during the wildcard playoff loss to Seattle when Griffin suffered a devastating knee injury that tore his ACL, LCL, and meniscus. After that, he could just never recreate his rookie success, and the injuries exposed him when he lost some of his mobility. By 2015, he was benched for Kirk Cousins and moved to the scout team as a safety. Washington released him in March of 2016. He did spend 1 season in Cleveland that year, going 1-4 in games that he started, then missed all of 2017. Griffin finished his career as a backup in Baltimore before transitioning into broadcasting and podcasting, where he is currently working with Fox Sports and has his own YouTube channel called Out of Pocket with RG3. Luke Joeckel looked legit at Texas A&M. Pretty much everybody thought he was going to be an awesome prospect, but instead he had a ton of injuries from the start. Joeckel played just 5 games as a rookie on the Jags before an ankle injury sidelined him, and constant position changes prevented him from ever finding stability. In 2016, his final season in Jacksonville, he only appeared in 4 games before being released. Joeckel spent 1 final season with Seattle in 2017 before retiring after just 50 career games across 5 seasons. Notably, Lane Johnson, who was selected just 2 picks later, went on to become one of the greatest right tackles in NFL history, so that's kind of tough. Joeckel returned to Texas A&M to pursue his education, though, and graduated with a business degree in August of 2019. Next up is another Rams pick and another tackle with Greg Robinson. And despite having crazy athleticism, standing at 6'5" and weighing 330 pounds, Robinson struggled right from the start. He struggled with penalties, conditioning issues, and consistency, even showing up overweight to training camp in 2016. He was eventually benched and traded to Detroit for a 6th-round pick, where his time ended after just 6 games due to another injury. Robinson ended up in Cleveland for the 2018 season, but after 2 years, his NFL career ended after 6 seasons. To put the cherry on top, in February of 2020, Robinson was jailed in Texas for possession of 157 pounds of marijuana. He got 5 years probation. Then in February of 2022, he was arrested yet again in Louisiana with $120,000 worth of illegal drugs. I think it's safe to say, compared to Robinson, almost anybody would look good, but Marcus Mariota is honestly one of the sadder number 2 draft picks in NFL history, just because of what things could have looked like if everything went right. Early in his career, he showed real promise, throwing for over 6,200 yards and 45 touchdowns across his first 2 years. He led the Titans to the playoffs in 2017 and delivered one of the most memorable moments in postseason history when he caught his own deflected pass for a touchdown.
Mariota to the line of scrimmage, maybe across the line. It deflects back to him for a touchdown.
He became the first quarterback to catch his own pass for a touchdown since 1997. But Mariota took too many hits and seemed to lose his confidence. He was only really a starting quarterback for 4 years with Tennessee, and in that 5th year, he went 2-4 and got benched for Ryan Tannehill. Since leaving the Titans, he spent time with the Raiders, Falcons, Eagles, and right now he's with Washington. He joined the team as a backup, but he's seen a lot of action in 2025 because Jayden Daniels has consistently been hurt. Gotta give Mariota props for doing his best with what he's got, but he's still 2-6 as a starter, so yeah, it's not going great. Next up is Carson Wentz, who won 2 straight FCS national championships at North Dakota State. The Eagles took him 2nd overall in 2016, making him the highest drafted FCS player ever. His career trajectory changed in a matter of weeks. After a solid rookie season, Wentz exploded in 2017, throwing for 3,296 yards, 33 touchdowns, and just 7 interceptions, while leading the Eagles to an 11-2 record. He had the best touchdown percentage in the league at 7.5%, and he was a legitimate MVP candidate.
Wentz can't find anyone, spins away, under pressure, still on his feet. Now he fires downfield and it's caught.
But in week 14, he tore his ACL and his season was over, along with his MVP hopes. Nick Foles and the Eagles went on to win the Super Bowl while Wentz watched from the sidelines. In the years that followed, injuries and inconsistency derailed his momentum, and he eventually lost his starting job to Jalen Hurts in 2020. It's crazy how different his career path was compared to Jared Goff, who was drafted first in 2016. It just shows that one big bump in the road can kill a career. Currently with Minnesota, Wentz suffered another season-ending injury after briefly filling in at quarterback, marking another frustrating chapter in his career. Mitch Trubisky only started 1 full season at North Carolina before the Bears took him 2nd overall in 2017. That made him the highest selected quarterback in that draft. Trubisky took over in week 5 of his rookie year, and although he went 4-8 as a starter with 2,193 passing yards and 7 touchdowns, there were flashes of his potential. In 2018, Trubisky took a huge step forward, earning a Pro Bowl selection and leading the Bears to their first division title since 2010, throwing for over 3,200 yards and 24 touchdowns. But the problem was that his development stalled, and his struggles reading defenses became increasingly apparent. By 2020, he was benched in favor of Nick Foles, and Chicago released him the following offseason. Since then, Trubisky's been a backup with the Bills and the Steelers, waiting for his next opportunity. Kinda sucks for Bears fans too, as they passed on Patrick Mahomes to take this guy, but hey, Caleb Williams is looking great so far, so the future may be bright in Chicago. Alright, next is Saquon Barkley, who had a legendary college career at Penn State and set a bunch of school records in different categories. He entered the league as a generational running back prospect and immediately lived up to the hype. As a rookie, he led the NFL with 2,028 scrimmage yards, earning Offensive Rookie of the Year honors and a Pro Bowl appearance. Barkley kept it up in 2019 with 1,441 yards from scrimmage while only playing 13 games. Then in 2020, he tore his ACL, and that injury really limited his effectiveness over the next few years. After 6 seasons with the Giants, Barkley got fed up with their contract negotiations, signing a 3-year deal with the Eagles in March of 2024, and the rest is history.
Looking the other way, lofts it, Barkley, end zone, makes the grab.
Hurts has time. Now locates Barkley out of the backfield. Barkley slips 2 tackles and picks up the first down, whipping up in the air to the 30.
What an exit from the New York Giants for Saquon Barkley. Everything has gone great since leaving that organization.
Last year in Philadelphia, he ran for a league-leading 2,005 yards and 15 total touchdowns. The Eagles won Super Bowl 59 with Barkley doing a lot of the work to get them there. Now I have to say, this season he's not quite as productive, but he's still one of the most dangerous players in the league. Then there's Nick Bosa, who is the type of guy who can legitimately change the game when he's healthy. The trouble is, he hasn't been healthy as of late. Drafted by the 49ers in 2019, he immediately won Defensive Rookie of the Year after recording 9 sacks. After missing most of 2020, Bosa returned to form and delivered a career-best season in 2022 with 18.5 sacks, winning Defensive Player of the Year.
Just a dominant, pure football player.
Bosa signed a 5-year, $170 million contract extension with the 49ers in 2023, making him the highest paid defensive player in NFL history at the time. Unfortunately, he's out for the year in 2025 after just playing 3 games.
We have some breaking news from Adam Schefter's Twitter account. 49ers Pro Bowl defensive end Nick Bosa has suffered a season-ending torn ACL.
Chase Young entered the league with massive expectations, and initially he delivered, winning Defensive Rookie of the Year after getting 7.5 sacks and 44 tackles, but injuries quickly became a recurring issue for him. Young tore his ACL in 2021 and missed most of the 2022 season recovering from it. He also looked like he just couldn't figure out how to rush at the pro level and was always relying on one move. After being traded by Washington after 4 seasons to San Francisco, Young signed with the Saints in 2024. Now, for the first time since his rookie year, he appears to be finding his footing, recording 7 sacks in 10 games and grading out as New Orleans' top pass rusher. But now we've got a guy who is up there among the biggest busts in NFL history. Zach Wilson had an awesome junior year at BYU. He completed 73.5% of his pass attempts for 3,692 yards, 33 touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions. The Jets believed his arm talent and athleticism could finally solve their long-standing quarterback issues. Instead, Wilson struggled with turnovers, poor decision-making, and inconsistent mechanics. He went 3-10 as a rookie with a 69.7 passer rating. In fact, he's never had a passer rating that's higher than 77.2 in his career.
Right now, Zach Wilson is not a starting quarterback in the National Football League.
After 3 disappointing seasons in New York, the Jets traded him to Denver. He was a backup there to Bo Nix, but never got any playing time since Nix has been playing way better than expected. Now Wilson finds himself behind Quinn Ewers on the Dolphins depth chart. Getting demoted behind a 7th round draft pick is a horrible look for a 2nd overall pick. Moving on to Aidan Hutchinson, who is one of the most polished defensive prospects in years, a unanimous All-American at Michigan and even finished runner-up for the Heisman. Hutchinson made an immediate impact as a rookie, recording 9.5 sacks, 52 total tackles, 3 interceptions, and 2 fumble recoveries. In week 2, he even set the Lions' rookie record with 3 sacks in a single game. He made his first Pro Bowl in 2023 and established himself as one of the elite young defensive ends in the NFL. Going into 2024, he was one of the best players in the league.
Mayfield pumps, he's in trouble, ball is out, loose ball, it's covered by Tampa, Aidan Hutchinson.
Unfortunately, Hutchinson missed a lot of the season with a horrible leg injury, but he's rebounded very well in 2025. He's got 13.5 sacks over 16 games and already has 5 interceptions in 4 years. Plus, he's just super reliable when he's on the field. And as a bonus, he plays more snaps than most other linemen do in the league. CJ Stroud was a 2-time Heisman Trophy finalist at Ohio State before Houston took him 2nd overall in 2023. We all remember that rookie season that he had. The guy balled out, leading the Texans to a division title and a playoff win in his first year. He threw for 4,108 yards, 23 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions. It was the 3rd most passing yards by a rookie in NFL history.
You would have never thought he was a rookie.
Yeah, he is not a rookie.
Sure, in 2024, he did regress a bit, but the Texans still made the playoffs and beat the Chargers in the wildcard round. This season, Stroud got a nasty concussion in Week 9 and sat out until Week 13. Since coming back, the Texans are on a 4-game winning streak, though. In Week 15 against the Cardinals, he was great with 260 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 137.1 passer rating. If he can stay healthy, he's looking like a solid quarterback for sure, and do not get me started on that Texans defense. Nasty. And then we're on to Jayden Daniels, who I was really interested to see play this year. We just talked about Stroud's rookie season, but just 1 year later, Daniels looked even better. He led the Commanders to 12 wins and their first NFC Championship game since 1991. Daniels threw for 3,568 yards and 25 touchdowns while rushing for 891 yards and 6 more scores. He was great in the playoffs before losing to the Eagles, who went on to eventually win the Super Bowl.
He's the modern NFL quarterback. Like, he's what everybody's looking for.
Just to see the poise that he played with as a rookie, it was very impressive.
But 2025 has been tougher for sure. Daniels has been injured a lot, and Washington has lost a bunch of games. He missed everything from week 9 onwards, but came back in week 14. Unfortunately, Washington got destroyed 31-0 in that game. He was just never really healthy. Daniels went just 9 of 20 for 78 yards and no touchdowns. Hopefully he can recover fully and come back better in 2026. Then there's Travis Hunter, maybe the most exciting second overall pick in history. After winning the Heisman Trophy with a historic two-way season at Colorado, he was expected to contribute significantly on both offense and defense at the professional level. The Jaguars see him primarily as a receiver opposite Brian Thomas Jr., although that plan might have changed since they acquired Jacoby Myers. Hunter was also used in defensive packages at cornerback though. He did start pretty slow. Some analysts were arguing for more time at cornerback, where he did look better. Then in London, he had his first 100-yard receiving game and added a touchdown.
Wentz looking for Hunter. Flag down, touchdown.
He also had a big pass breakup on Devontae Adams in one-on-one coverage. It looked like things were beginning to click. But just as it looked like he was breaking out, Hunter injured his knee during practice on defense.
Jaguars two-way star Travis Hunter has undergone season-ending knee surgery.
He had 28 catches for 298 yards and a touchdown through 7 games. On defense, he had 15 tackles and 3 pass breakups. Now we just have to hope that the knee injury doesn't take away all his quickness, because he relies on it at both positions. Alright, that's a wrap on what happened to every number 2 draft pick since 2020, but I want to know what you guys think. Who is your favorite number 2 pick on this list today? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure as always to hit that subscribe button so I know to make more videos like this one.